Welcome back with a smiley face. A link is provided in the video description for previous episodes. Giving up on the alpha. Blurb. After the human girl accidentally sold herself to the alpha was surprised to find that he had found his destined mate. The day before my wedding, I watched my fiancé sleep with my best friend. To get back at them, I went to my fiancé's boss and sold me to him. But I didn't know he was alpha and I was pregnant with his wolf pup. I tried to escape, but he came to me. Liana, my dear mate, be my Luna. Wait. Mate? Did I hear that right? But I'm just a human girl. Episode 1. Chapter 1 to 10. Liana, I'm the happiest girl alive, I exclaim excitedly as I twirl through the living room of my best friend, Nina, apartment. In less than 24 hours, I'll be Mrs. Wyatt Miller. You're also going to be a tired bride if you don't go to bed, Nina laughs. It's already 10 o'clock and you have an early morning and busy day ahead of you before you can walk down the aisle. Do you think I can call him before I go to bed? I ask as I fall onto the couch. It's a terrible tradition not to see the groom before the big day. Liana, the man is most likely already in bed, Nina sighs. And you should be too. Can you believe he built me a house? I sit up and look at her. Me, poor Liana from the trailer park with the hand-me-down clothes, are moving into a brand new house. Built and furnished just for me. Yet, Nina rolls her eyes. You won the lotto, I know. Oh, Nina, I look pleadingly at her. I know you don't like Wyatt that much, but can't you be just a little bit excited for me? This is my dream come true. It's not that I dislike him, Nina sighs heavily. It's just. He's a werewolf and you're a human. I'm just looking out for you, that's all. And I love you for that. I stand up, walk to her and take her hands in mine. You are the best friend in the world and that's why you're my maid of honor. It's because I'm your best friend that I worry, she says softly. I've been living within these borders my entire life and this pack of wolves are not known for their kindness and humanity. But it's also an honor to be mated to one of them, I say urgently. Especially if it's the Delta's son. I will have prestige and status and will finally have money to send to my parents. They're not getting any younger and with Dad's health declining and my brother's issues. They have sacrificed so much for me, Nina. I want them to relax and enjoy retirement without wondering about where they're going to get their next meal. My dreams are coming true and taking care of my parents is a bonus. You're right, Nina smiles after a while. I'm worried for no reason. Now, go to bed so that you can be the prettiest bride this pack has ever seen. I love you, I hug her tightly before I go to my room. I cannot stop smiling as I look at my wedding dress that is hanging behind my door. Quickly I go through my suitcase and double-check that I have packed everything. Shoes, lingerie, veil. Oh no. My veil is not here. I left it at home. Oh, well, I smile to myself as I tiptoe to the front door without disturbing Nina. This is the perfect excuse to go home and surprise Wyatt. I take a moment to admire the house that we will be living in for a moment before I walk to the front door. I unlock the door as quietly as I can and step inside. I feel as giddy as a schoolgirl as I imagine Wyatt's face when I surprise him. Silently I make my way to our future bedroom, but the closer I get, the deeper my frown goes. Clearly, I can hear the pleasurable moans of a man and a woman. What the hell? Is Wyatt watching? I surely hope not. That is such a filthy custom and not something I want to deal with. Especially not on my honeymoon. No, I shake my head. Not my Wyatt. After 7 years, I know everything about him that there is to know. He is most likely only watching a movie with a provocative scene. I continue my way to the bedroom but stop dead in my tracks when I reach the door. My fingers fly to my mouth and my eyes nearly pop out of their sockets as I stare at the scene in disgust. Gwen, my bridesmaid, is standing on all fours on the bed as Wyatt violently thrusts into her. "Yes, baby, yes," Gwen pants. "Harder. Harder." She screams loudly as his fingers dig deeper into her hips as he obeys her request. "Yes. Yes," she shouts. I want to turn around and run away. I want to cry and scream and shout. I want to throw up and crumble into a ball. But I do not. I am numb and lifeless. I am standing in the doorway, staring at my friend and fiancé as they satisfy their most carnal need. It is like standing on the tracks and watching the oncoming train heading right for you. You know you should move but you are frozen. My heart shatters into a million pieces. Gwen wiggles her hips until she reaches her before she collapses forward on the bed. "Thanks, babe," Wyatt slaps Gwen on her ass before he crawls onto the bed next to her. "You always know how to satisfy a man. Unlike your fiancé." She giggles and curls up in his arms. "Come on," he scoffs. "You know I've never FD her. Is that why you're marrying her?" Gwen pouts as she draws circles on his chest with her finger. "Because she's a virgin." They are talking about me, I realize. I am standing right here, and they have no idea. They are so absorbed in their lust that they do not even see me. Are wolves not supposed to smell others? Or is the aroma of *X so overwhelming that they do not catch up on my scent? "I'm marrying her because she's my mate," he grunts. "And you know that. Why don't you just reject her?" Gwen sulks. "She's human, she won't feel the pain like a she-wolf. Then you and I can be together like we want to be." "You know I can't do that," he kisses her tenderly. "I must be married to my mate if I want to be Delta one day." "Do you rather want to be the mistress of the Delta or the wife of an Omega?" "But once you're married, I won't be able to see you as often," she whimpers. "And as her husband, you'll have to sleep with her." "Only until she gives me my son," he smiles sweetly. "I promise you. Once my son is born, I will never touch her again." The more they talk, the more life returns to my loins. My initial shock and devastation have made space for pure, hot anger. "Well," I sneer as I cross my arms in front of my chest. "Isn't this cozy?" Both Gwen and Wyatt jerk upright and stare at me in shock. "Liana," Wyatt is the first to react and he scrambles out of bed. "This is not what you think." Oh, spare me," I spat the words angrily. "I watched the entire show. This is exactly what it looks like." "She's right, Wyatt," Gwen smiles smugly as she pulls Wyatt's t-shirt over her head. "This is exactly what it looks like." "Gwen, not now," Wyatt hisses urgently. "Why not now?" Gwen shrugs. "She's seen and heard it all, there's no use in denying it." "I thought you were my friend," I look at her with disgust and hatred. "How can I possibly be your friend when you want what's mine?" She sneers as she steps closer to me. "Yours?" I gape at her. "He's my mate." "He might be your mate," she smirks as she places herself in front of me. "But I have his heart." I yell as the palm of my hand connects hard and loudly with her cheek. Gwen's head jerks to the side from the impact and she stumbles backwards. "Gwen, baby," Wyatt rushes to her side. "Are you okay?" "No," she whimpers, and he cradles her into his embrace. "You asshole," I shout as I shove Wyatt away from Gwen and he looks at me with shock. I'm your fiancé. But you're more concerned about your WE than you're about me. Liana, enough, Wyatt bellows as he grabs me by the wrists. His eyes are burning into mine. You do not get to talk to me like that. I jerk my hands free from his hold. And your whore. I look at them with anger and hatred as I pull off my engagement ring. Take this, I shout and toss the ring at them. Let her birth your heir, and good luck with becoming the next Delta. Liana, wait, Wyatt turns pale as he reaches for me, but I had enough. I turn on my heels and run as fast as I can. Liana, please, Wyatt runs after me. Let's talk about this like adults. No, I yell furiously as I turn to face him. There is nothing to talk about. There is nothing that you can say or do to undo what I have witnessed. You made your bed, sleep in it. Please, he reaches for me, but I slap his hand away, turn around and run into the night. Chapter 2. Liana POV blindly, I run down the street as tears stream down my face. I cannot believe this. I have seen it with my own two eyes, but it still feels surreal. I have no idea how far I have run, but my feet are hurting, and for the first time I notice my surroundings. In my devastating state, I have run out of the residential area into town. A neon sign, spikes, catches my eye, and I decide to go in. I am tired and thirsty. I need the rest. It is not like I have to get up early tomorrow anymore. The music is too loud and the bar too smoky for comfort, but I prefer it like this. At least if someone notices I have been crying, I can blame the smoke. I push past people until I find a chair at the bar, and I take a seat. What will it be? A bearded man asks me. Vodka tonic, I order. Make it a double and keep them coming. Are you driving? The man raises his eyebrows. Nope, I shake my head. I don't even own a bicycle. Okay, he shrugs nonchalantly as he turns away to mix my drink. Absent-mindedly, I look at the people as I wait for my drink. What a night to be surrounded by people celebrating life. I am disillusioned, disappointed, sad, heartbroken and angry. Here you go. The man puts my drink down and I smile weakly before I finish it off immediately. Easy, girl, the man smirks. Or you'll regret it in the morning. I will not possibly regret it as much as I regret today. I motion for him to bring me another. The man only shakes his head as he hands me another drink. This time, I drink it slower as my mind dwells on the day I met Wyatt. Coming from a poor family, my prospects were not high. But I clawed my way from doing dishes in a restaurant to junior manager. Then Wyatt and his friends visited the restaurant one night while I was on duty. The second he looked at me, I could see the lust in his eyes. He kept coming to the restaurant until I agreed to go on a date with him. Only after 2 years did he tell me that he was a werewolf and explain the mate bond to me. Initially, I was scared but also flattered that I was chosen for him. I, the girl who was never good enough for the rich kids, was chosen as his mate. Now that I think of it, Gwen was also part of his group the first time I saw him. And she always was. Gwen was friendly and warm, and I quickly regarded her as a friend. I mumble as I finish my glass and wink at the barkeep for another. I was so blind and naive. I went to Gwen with all my insecurities and questions about werewolves and Wyatt. And she was so helpful every time. Now I know better. But now is too late. I have quit my job at the restaurant and moved into the Pax borders. Now I am nothing more than a puny human surrounded by wolves with no mate, no place to live, and no job. I am back where I started, being poor with little to no prospects. I have no choice but to move back to my parents' trailer and start from the bottom. A murmur rustles through the bar and curiously I stretch my neck to see what the commotion is about. People are making way for a man who is walking to the VIP section. High cheekbones with full lips. Square jaw and a straight nose. His black hair is neat and short in his neck, but long and wavy on top. But it is his emerald green eyes that make my mouth turn dry. His stare is cold and direct, and it feels like he is looking right through me. Deliberately I look away when I realize who he is. That is the Alpha's son, Axel. I have never met him, but Wyatt has told me plenty about him. A ruthless narcissist, that is what Wyatt called him. And from what I can remember, Axel is due to take over as Alpha at the end of this year. I look at my watch and am surprised to see it is past midnight already. I have lost track of time and of the number of vodkas I have thrown back. My head is fuzzy and my legs wobbly when I stand up. Unsteadily, I grab hold of the counter to support myself and not fall over. With fumbling fingers, I manage to fish enough money out of my back pocket to pay for my drinks and tip the barkeeper. I pull a face when I realize that I do not have enough cash for a taxi to get home. I left my cell phone and wallet at Nina's when I left and only took cash for transportation. Oh, well, this mishap suits this disastrous night perfectly. I turn around to leave and bump into a man's chest. Sorry, I apologize as I grab onto his arms to not land on my ass. The arms and chest I am standing against are rock hard and muscular. I smile as I squeeze his biceps. Nice. Are you always this forward? The man growls and slowly, I look up at his face. My breath hitches in my throat as I recognize Axel. He looks at me emotionlessly and something inside me snaps. I gave up everything for a man and he tossed me aside like nothing. Now this gorgeous devil is looking at me like nothing and I am not nothing, damn it. Take me home, I blurt out the words. What? He frowns and for a second I swear he was about to smile. You heard me, I keep my composure, but I already regret what I think I am about to do. Are you drunk? He looks at me suspiciously. As a skunk, I confirm. Go home, little girl, he pushes me aside. Before the big, bad wolf catches you. Why? I challenge him and he turns to me in disbelief. Do you have any idea who I am? He hisses at me. Does it matter? I raise my eyebrows. I don't recall asking your name or offering mine. But I do remember proposing a night together. Just leave, he huffs. Why? I ask again. Can't you get it up? I hold my finger up between us and bend it like a wilted flower. Let's hope you don't regret this, he grunts as he grabs my hand and drags me after him outside of the bar. Neither of us says a word as we cross the street to the closest hotel. I do not make eye contact with anybody. Which is hard because everyone is looking at us curiously. But it does not seem to bother Axel at all. By the time we reach the room, I have sobered up enough to realize what I have done. For a second I consider apologizing and leaving, but then I decide against it. Why should I? This man is drop-dead gorgeous, and I am certain every female and some males would die to be in my shoes right now. And what do I have to show for my Miss Goody Two-Shoe lifestyle? Humiliation and a broken heart. I deserve a little fun. The second the door closes behind us, Axel starts taking off his clothes and I stare at him with big eyes. What are you waiting for? He grunts. Undress. I do not say a word as I kick off my sneakers and start undoing my jeans. You're taking too long, Axel complains and pulls my t-shirt over my head. Shame threatens to engulf me when I am only in my underwear, but he does not seem to care. In fact, he does not even seem interested. He picks me up and places me on the bed before he unhooks my bra. His mouth is warm and rough as his lips capture my knee and I lay motionless as he sucks and nibbles on me. I have no idea what is to be expected of me. His hand trails down my stomach until he settles between my legs and a strange warmth pool in my nether region. He gently starts stroking me and I unexpectedly moan softly. "That's better," he mumbles against my breast as his fingers keep on stroking and rubbing me. Embarrassment overflows me as I feel the moisture between my legs, but he seems pleased as he groans against my skin. He lifts himself and settles between my legs and I close my eyes tightly to not look at him. He penetrates me hard and fast, and I cannot contain the scream that escapes my lips. I bite hard on my lip to keep myself from making a sound as he shoves into me over and over. My fingers curl into the linen as I absorb the pain. Axel releases a loud growl as he reaches his X, and his breathing is heavy as he smiles at me. "Again," he says before kissing me. Chapter 3. Liana POV. I grunt in pain when I stretch out and instantly lay still. Everything hurts. From my throbbing head down to my ankles. Flashes of the previous night bombard my brain and I cringe. Alcohol has created a band that is keeping an offbeat rhythm in my head, sending waves of pain against my temples and eyes. And the pain in the rest of my body, well, Axel is responsible for that. He was not a gentle lover. I open my eyes partially and look at my surroundings. Sun rays are dancing through the curtains, and it takes me a moment to realize I am still in the hotel room. Oh, what have I done? I pinch my eyes closed and send a silent prayer that Axel has left already. My life shattered into pieces last night and I made it worse by indulging not only in alcohol but also in a stranger's body. When I propositioned Axel, I was too intoxicated to take into account the walk of shame. Why did I not sneak out while he was sleeping? Oh yeah, I was too drunk and tired. Well then, that is it, I decide as I slowly turn around. I have hit rock bottom and ruined my life. Sure, Wyatt helped me out in that department, but I was the one who got drunk all on my own and challenged a man to take me to bed. Damn it, I groan inwardly when I see Axel snoring next to me. Is it really that much to ask the universe for a break? Why did he not leave like other men do? Not that I have experience in this department, but hey, is that not the theme of every Hollywood movie? As quietly as I can, I worm out of bed. With any luck, I can be out of here before he wakes up. "Order coffee," his voice demands behind me, and with a shriek I turn around. His eyes dartle lazily over my body and I blush beet red when I realize I am naked. I reach over for the blanket and jerk it off the bed to cover my nakedness. Oh no, that was a mistake, I swallow as I look at the floor. Axel is sprawled out in the bed with his crown jewels on display and apparently, it does not bother him one little bit. Why so shy? He chuckles as he puts his hands behind his head. I've seen it all last night. Because you are looking at me as if I am your breakfast, I think to myself as I ignore him and start gathering my clothes. I should go, I mumble as I quickly put on my t-shirt. I am not going to bother with my bra right now. Not while he is watching. My only mission is to get out of here as fast as possible with as much dignity as I can master. Not before you ordered my coffee, his tone of voice is superior as he stands up. Then you. He abruptly stays quiet, and I follow his gaze to the blood stain in the center of the bed. I swallow hard on the regret and tears as I look at the evidence of the exact price I paid for my drunken stupidity. For 26 years I have protected my virtue at all costs. Not because of some belief or because I am a prude. But coming from a poor home, this was the most valuable gift that I could give to the man I love. Something pure and priceless, and I gave it away, for free, to a stranger. Your first time. His voice is dark and low as he looks at me. What? I shrug and pretend not to care. Do you have a virgin complex? He is quiet for a long time as he holds my gaze to the point where I have to fight myself to remain still and not start squirming. How much? He growls and I am taken aback by his anger. How much what? I frown confused. Don't be obtuse, he hisses furiously. Money. How much do you want? Dumbfounded I stare at him as I try to make sense of his words. He has lost me completely. Why are we talking about money? Is there some werewolf rule or ritual that I do not know about regarding virgins? Then a dark thought hits me and I swallow hard on the bile that is rising in my throat. He thinks I am a PE. Do you always pay for *X? I ask irritated as I pick up my sneakers. Some alpha he is. He is so used to paying for the deed that he does not even know what to do when he gets it for free. How dare you insult me? He bellows. Oh, and insinuating that I'm a PE is a compliment. I lose control over my temper. Last night's hurt and betrayal are still fresh and now I must deal with the shame that I brought over myself. The last thing I need is his judgment. Only Ws throw away their virtue. He crosses his arms in front of his chest. I grunt as I walk past him, but he grabs me by my wrist and pulls me against his chest. Let me go, my voice is low and dark as I glare at him. You and I have nothing to say to each other. The second that door closes behind me, you and I have never met. I jerk my hand free and storm out of the room as fast as I can. Axel POV infuriated I sit down on the bed. A virgin. A virgin. I despise virgins and have a rule not to sleep with one. I learned that lesson the hard way. They get clinging and needy once they have slept with you and before you know you have a stalker. Like Angela. Or they blackmail you, like Mia. She was the worst. I was only 20 and still believed in love, but she ruined that quickly for me. I was still writing when she told me I should marry her because she was 2 months shy of 18 and still a minor. Either I marry her, or she will have me charged with statutory. 2 lawyers and $500,000 settlement later, I was rid of her. That is why I offered money to this beauty. Why else would she suggest a night between the sheets if she is still a virgin? I smack the bedside lamp into pieces against the wall. She is so damn gorgeous and was so cocky in the bar that it never occurred to me that she could still be a virgin. No normal, innocent girl would be so forward with a stranger. Especially a human girl in wolf territory. I do not even know her name, so I cannot do a background check on her. How am I supposed to know if this is truly a coincidence or something more? Nice, Axel, I say out loud as I look down at my groin. Thinking was stupid. I sigh heavily as I get up and walk to the shower. All I wanted was to get a drink or 12 before going home. I simply could not face Angela and her parents sober. But damn it, the blonde from last night is hot. Just thinking about her makes me hard and I turn on the freezing water to cool down my desire. Chapter 4. Liana POV. The sunlight is much too bright for my comfort and my headache is increasing with every step I take as I walk back to Nina's. Maybe I should have taken money from Axel. Just enough to get an Uber. She lives right on the edge of the border because she is human. She was 9 years old when her father died, and her mother remarried when she was 12. Nina loved her werewolf stepfather, and he legally adopted her. According to my knowledge, Nina is the only single human residing within the borders. All the other humans are mated to a wolf, like me. Wyatt might be a cheating bastard, but he was spot on about Axel. That man is a sanctimonious and pompous prick. I do not care if he is the alpha. He is an unpleasant brute and I wish to never see him again. Thankfully, I never gave him my name. By the time I reach Nina's apartment, I cannot tell which part of my body hurts the most. The long walk home calmed my anger, and I am acutely aware of every inch of me that is in pain. Liana, Nina bursts out in tears when I walk through the door. I've been worried sick. Where were you? Wyatt's been calling non-stop and I. Did you answer? I cut her tirade short as I walk to the fridge and pour myself a glass of water. No, Nina frowns confused. I didn't know what to tell him and. Liana. She takes a step closer to me and sniffs before she stammers backwards with big eyes. You slept with him, she murmurs as she looks at me in disbelief. How? You slept with Wyatt, Nina cuts me off and I shake my head feverishly. Don't lie to me. I can smell it. You reek of sex. It wasn't Wyatt, I croak as I storm off to the bathroom. I need aspirin. Lots and lots of aspirin. And how can you smell? Not Wyatt. Nina explodes as she follows me. What the hell has gotten into you? You're getting married this afternoon and. The wedding is off, I whisper the words and suddenly the world collapses around me. Saying the words out loud is so much harder than thinking about them. The harsh reality makes me stammer backwards until I am with my back against the bathroom wall. My knees give in, and I slowly slide down the wall until I sit on the floor. It's all such a mess, Nina, I sniff as I look at her before I tell her everything. All of it, except Axel's identity. That piece of information I will take to my grave. By the time I am done, Nina is sitting next to me, crying. You'll get through this, she sniffs as she takes my hand. I don't have all the answers, but together we'll come up with a solution. Thanks, I sigh and rest my head on her shoulder. But first you need a shower, Nina stands up and pulls me to my feet. And I'll go to the pharmacy and get you the morning after pill. The last thing you need now is to get pregnant by a stranger. I didn't even think of that, I swallow hard in the panic. And I don't blame you, Nina smiles gently at me. If I were you, I wouldn't think of it either. Now, get in that bath and just relax. I will go to the pharmacy and then we can contact your guests and inform them the wedding is off. That's. Liana. Wyatt bellows as he hammers on the front door, and I look at Nina with big eyes as anxiety settles within. Open up. Wyatt keeps on hammering on the door and with every hit, my panic grows. It was easy to tell him to go to hell when I was angry. But now. I am sober, hurt and confused. I do not know if I have the strength to face him. Don't worry, Nina smiles at me as if she has read my mind. Stay here, I'll take care of him. Nina, I say firmly. It's okay, I'll handle him. Are you sure? She looks at me doubtfully. Yes, I nod and lift my chin. I must fight my own battles like I used to before I met him. I'm right here if you need me, she gives my shoulder an encouraging squeeze before she disappears into her room. I take a deep breath and open the door. Wyatt looks angry and relieved at the same time. But his hair is a mess, and his eyes are red. He looks terrible. Liana, he breathes my name and reaches out to touch me, but I take a step back and he drops his arm. May I come in? He asks politely as he pushes his hands into his front pockets. No, I shake my head adamantly. I'm only answering the door before you break it and wake up the entire neighborhood. My regards to Gwen, goodbye. Now leave. I can't, he says hastily as he pushes the door open. I try with all my might, but he is a wolf and so much stronger than me, and he keeps the door open with ease. Wyatt, please, I sigh. Just go, it's over. Have you not hurt me enough? That's rich, he growls as he glares at me. After all the pain I had to endure with what you did last night. My mouth goes dry and the blood drains from my face as I look at him. How can he possibly know what I have done last night? And what pain? I have no idea what you're talking about, I say with false bravado. You're the one with the mistress and only want to marry me to become Delta. You're the one inflicting pain, not me. Don't play dumb with me, he growls as he steps forward and forces me to take a couple of steps back. Even if I didn't feel your betrayal, you stink of it. I can smell it a mile away. I didn't betray you, I hiss at him as my anger consumes my fear. The moment I gave you back your ring, I was free to do as I please. That's not how it works, he smiles ominously. You didn't reject me, and we are still mates. No, I mumble as the blood drains from my face. This cannot be true. You're lying, I shove him against his chest. You're making this up to trick me to come back to you. I told you it's over and I gave back your ring. We're done, Wyatt. It's the truth, he bellows as he grabs my wrists and his eyes bore into mine. Ask anyone. Until you reject me, we're still mates. Fine, I wiggle my wrists free. I reject you, it's over. I never want to see you again. Wyatt throws his head back as he laughs hard and ugly. With wide eyes, I stare at him as I step back in fear. Does rejection make you go mad? Since I opened the door for him, he has been jumping from one mood to the other. That cannot possibly be normal. You know, Liana, his laughter dies down and he takes a step closer. I always found your naivety amusing. He taps me on the tip of my nose with his finger as he walks past me and makes himself comfortable on the couch. Cut the crap, Wyatt, I yell at him as I lose my temper and go stand in front of him. I rejected you, get out and leave me alone. You tried to reject me, he smirks as he lazily leans back onto the couch. But you failed. What? Did I miss the magic word? I ask sarcastically and I cross my arms in front of my chest as I glare at him. Should I say please? Like I'm going to tell you, he smiles sadistically. No, my little human, you'll remain my mate until I'm Delta and you birth my son. After that, well, I will reject you myself. I will never agree to that, I look at him in disbelief. How could I ever think that he was handsome? His thin lips are pulled into a cruel line and his brown eyes have a barbarous glare. His chin is too short and almost looks weak. His light brown hair is combed backwards and the early telltales that he will turn bald are already visible. But what strikes me most, is the twinkle of joy in his eyes as he looks at me victoriously. Why have I never realized how cruel and sadistic he is in 7 years? You don't have a choice, he shrugs nonchalantly before he stands up and comes to stand in front of me. I'll see you this afternoon at church. Now, go wash off that stench from that man that you spend the night with and make yourself pretty. I will not be there, I pull my shoulders back adamantly and look him dead in the eye. I will not allow him to intimidate me. You have no escape, he grins as he touches my cheek, and I must fight the urge to squirm away. I already informed my father that you're planning to run away, and he increased security. You will not get out of our borders, that's a promise. Don't make things more difficult for yourself. He brushes past me and slams the door behind him before I can utter a word. Nina, I yell as life returns to my loins and I rush to her room. Nina, you must help, I say on the verge of hysteria as I barge into her room and sit down on her bed next to her. Quickly, I repeat Wyatt and my conversation word for word. You must use his name, surname, and rank when you reject him. And being rejected is painful. Because you're human, you won't feel it, but he will, Nina explains once I am done rambling. So, technically you're still his mate. And when you were with that other man, he would have experienced physical abdominal pain. Damn it, I bury my face in my hands. This is such a mess. Can I phone him and do it telephonically? I lift my head and look hopeful at her. No, she says sadly as she shakes her head. Face to face is the only way. Fine, I smile devilishly as a plan manifests in my mind. I'll go to the wedding and instead of saying I do, I will reject him. As wonderful as it sounds, I wouldn't advise it, Nina raises her eyebrows. The wolves will tear you apart. Wyatt's father is a rank and close to Alpha Grant. Not to mention that Wyatt's dad is a ruthless bastard. I can guarantee you his dad knows the truth about his affair and is most likely proud of his son for having a mate and a mistress. The humiliation will not sit well with him, and you'll end up paying for it. Then what am I supposed to do? I look at her pleadingly. Not showing up will also be humiliating and I'd rather die than marry him. Even if I do manage to escape, he will hunt me down. It is quiet for a moment as Nina only stares at our hands, but I can tell she is weighing my options. I cannot think of any solutions. My mind is too clouded with panic and fear. I have an idea, Nina finally speaks as she looks up and gives me a dubious look. But it's not pretty. Anything, I grab her hands as if they were my last lifeline. Okay, Nina closes her eyes for a moment before she looks at me. There's only one way to miss your wedding without carrying any blame. You must be physically unable to go. But it must look like an accident and not a deliberate act. I don't understand, I frown as I try and make sense of her words. And maybe it's best that you don't, Nina gives me a knowing look. I'm going to the pharmacy to get your pills. In the meantime, go take that shower and put on your wedding gown. Leave the rest to me. I look at her for a moment before I nod and walk to the bathroom. Chapter 5. Liana POV. I am overcome with sadness as I look at myself in the mirror. My blonde hair is curled and loosely braided with tiny purple flowers and shines golden where the sun rays hit it. My wedding gown is snow white and fits me like a glove. My makeup is impeccable, and I look like the fairy princess I dreamed of. But it brings me no joy. My blue eyes are clouded with pain and betrayal and the corner of my lips pulls downwards into a sad smile. I want to cry. This is supposed to be a joyous day but instead, it is filled with disillusions and sorrow. You are breathtaking, Nina sighs as she walks towards me. Thank you, I manage to smile as I turn around. So are you. It is not a lie. Nina looks stunning in her violet dress. The color complements her tan skin and black hair. Are you ready? Nina gives me a wicked smile and I shake my head. How can anyone be ready for this? I grunt as I nervously fumble with my fingers. Hey, Nina rests her hands on my shoulders. Trust me, okay? This is going to work. My dad knows what he's doing, and we can trust him. I know, I take a deep breath. But this is one hell of a risk and dangerous. We don't have to do this, Liana, Nina says urgently. We can call it off and... No, I shake my head. I would rather take this risk and die than marry him. Well, it's not going to come to that. Let's get this over with so you can relax, Nina gives me an encouraging smile and I nod. I close my eyes for a moment before she takes my hand and I follow her outside. Remember what we talked about, Nina whispers as we stop at the park. We need witnesses for this plan to work. And precise timing, I add nervously as I open the car's door. That too, she chuckles. In silence, we cross the road towards the park, and I am acutely aware of people staring at us. It would not have bothered me if it were not for our plan. It is normal for people to look curiously at a bride and her bridesmaid when they arrive alone in the park. Excuse me, sir, Nina says loudly as she walks over to an older man. Would you mind taking a photo of me and my friend? We want to capture our last moment as two single ladies. It would be my pleasure, the man smiles brightly as he takes Nina's phone. You ladies look stunning. Thank you, we reply and stand beside each other. Now, Nina whispers and my stomach dives. Oh, wait, I say quickly as the man lifts the phone to take the picture. I forgot my veil in the car. I'll be back in a moment. I turn around and run across the street towards the car. Liana! Watch out! Nina shouts and I stop abruptly. I turn to the oncoming truck and stare at it with honest fear. I close my eyes and wait for the impact. Tires screech and a horn blare. People are screaming and shouting. There is a loud thud before I am swept off my feet and then everything turns black. The monotone of beep 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 is the first thing I become aware of, followed by excoriating pain. I moan softly as I try to open my eyes. Just stay calm, Nina's voice is soft and soothing against my ear. You're fine. A little bruised, but fine. It hurts, I croak as I try to move but Nina gently pushes me back onto the bed. Don't move, she urges softly. You bumped your head pretty hard when you landed, but there's no serious injuries. They gave you something for the pain and it's making you sleepy. Go back to sleep, I'm right here and will not leave your side. Thank you, I sigh as I allow the darkness to take over again. The concept of time is lost on me when I wake up again. I have no idea if I were sleeping for an hour, a day, or a year. Voices in the distance start getting louder until I recognize Nina and Wyatt. Quietly I open my eyes and do not move. I do not want him to know that I am awake. Who was the driver? Wyatt demands. He needs to be held accountable. I don't know, Nina's voice is steady. It happened so fast, and I was only concerned about Liana. You imbecile, Wyatt interrupts her, and his rudeness is enough to stir me to life. He has no right to talk to her like that. Wyatt, my voice is hoarse. Liana, Wyatt sighs as he rushes towards my side and takes my hand. You're awake. How are you feeling? Hold me, please, I mumble. I want to get this over with and get rid of him. Gently he picks me up and pulls me onto his lap. I bite my bottom lip as pain surges through me when I put my arms around his neck and nestle closer to him. It's okay, he whispers as he strokes my back. You're safe now. The wedding, I murmur, and I must suppress the repulse as he kisses the top of my head. I postponed it until further notice, he sighs. Don't worry about it. Once you're healed, we'll get married. Wyatt, I raise my lips to his ear. I, Liana Erickson, reject you, Wyatt Miller, son of the Delta from Clear Moon Pack, as my mate. His body jerks against mine and he groans in pain. I try to get off his lap, but his arms tighten around my waist and pull me painfully against him. His voice is low and dangerous. You will not get away with this. You're hurting me, I complain as I try to free myself from his hold. This is just the beginning, he growls, and panic grabs hold of my heart as I try to free myself. Nurse! Nina shouts down the hallway. She's awake. Quick footsteps come our way and Wyatt releases his hold on me. I'm not done with you, his voice is low and dangerous as he lays me down and gets up. But the nurse is inside my room before I can respond. Wyatt looks at me with pain and anger as he steps back. His fingers are trembling as he pushes them through his hair. In all the years I have known him, I have never seen him this emotional. For a split second, I feel bad for him. Nina told me rejection is painful, but it never occurred to me exactly how painful it is. Excuse me, Wyatt mumbles before he scurries out of the room. You're one lucky lady, Miss Erickson, the nurse smiles at me as she takes my vitals. Except for the bump on your head, you're fine. You will be a little stiff and sore for the next couple of days but will be able to continue with your life as normal. When can I go home? I ask softly. As soon as doctor checks up on you, she smiles. But I think he will discharge you today. That's great news, Nina clamps her hands together and looks at me with bright eyes. Thank you, I smile and lay back against the pillows. With a smile, the nurse leaves, and Nina sits beside me. It worked, Nina whispers urgently as she takes my hand in hers. You're free of him now. Don't pop the champagne just yet, I grunt. He made it clear that he's not done with me. I must get away from here as soon as possible. He's hurt and angry, Nina squeezes my hand. Don't read too much into it. There's nothing that he can do anymore. You rejected him and it cannot be undone. It doesn't matter, I shrug. I'm still getting out of here. I'm not a wolf or mated to one, I have no business staying here. Are you going back to your parents? Nina asks sympathetically. She knows exactly how hard I worked to get away from that trailer. Going back is the last thing I ever wanted. I don't have a choice, I sigh heavily. I spend all my savings on this wedding. Hopefully, the restaurant will take me back. Stay with me, Nina says urgently. You don't need to move in with your parents. Stay with me until you find a job and a new place in the city. Are you sure? I ask surprised. I mean, I can't contribute financially and I don't need your money, she interrupts me. But I do need my friend to be okay. Thanks, Nina, my eyes well up with gratitude. You're the best. Chapter 6. Liana POV. Come on, get up, Nina commands as she pulls open the curtains and allows the sun to brighten up the room. You've been cooped up in here long enough. I don't want to go out, I moan as I pull the covers over my head. I don't care what you want, Nina smirks as she pulls the cover off me. I care what you need. And you need to stop this pity party and move on with your life. I allowed you to sulk for an entire week, but that's enough. Fine, I huff as I get out of bed. I'll get dressed and everything, but I don't want to go out. I'm in no mood for socializing. We're going grocery shopping, Nina rolls her eyes. That qualifies as an errand and not socializing. Is that your subtle way of telling me to get a job and move out? I squint my eyes at her. No, she sighs and sits down on my bed. It's my direct way of telling you that I have chores to do and don't want to do it by myself. But I do all the chores, I laugh as I sit next to her. I cook and clean every day when you're at work. And I love it, Nina smiles brightly. My house has never been this clean and organized. But it's not fair that you don't leave this place, Liana. You're dangerously close to becoming a hermit. I know you're not ready to see people. That's why I'm not suggesting going to the movies or something. Grocery shopping isn't even fun. I would not have survived this ordeal without you, I smile at her. Give me half an hour, then we can go. I am extremely self-conscious and uncomfortable as we walk through the shopping center. But after a couple of minutes, I relax when I realize it is all in my head. People are not staring at me and gossiping behind their hands. They are occupied with their own lives. Did you add eggs and flour to the list? I ask Nina as we enter the store. Yup, she confirms as she takes a trolley, and we start moving down the first aisle. And toilet paper. I always forget to buy it. Nina starts telling me a funny story and it is not long before I catch myself laughing and having fun. You were right, I smile at her after she paid for our shopping, and we leave the store. I needed this. How about I repay you and buy you a cappuccino? You don't need to spend money on me, Nina says happily. You feeling better, is all I ask for. Oh, come on, I laugh heartedly. I might be unemployed, but I can still afford a cup of coffee. Okay, she shrugs. If you insist. Together we walk to the coffee shop, but she holds me back before I can enter. Let's go somewhere else, Nina smiles stiffly and immediately I know there is something wrong. Why? I ask as I turn to look around, and that is when I see them. I blink a couple of times to focus on the scene, and the blood drains from my face. Gwen and Wyatt are sitting at a table. But that is not upsetting me. It is the little boy between them that has caught my attention. I have met Gwen's son, Peter, before but this time it is different. This time my eyes are wide open and do I truly see? For the first time, I notice that Peter has his father's eyes and nose. Wyatt's eyes and nose. You're right, I pull myself together and turn to Nina. This place is overcrowded, we should go somewhere else. We should hurry, Nina starts walking. They just saw us. Quietly, I follow her to the car. Honestly, I do not care that they saw me. Neither do I care that they are together. I do not want Wyatt back and I cannot care less about whom he sees. But Peter, he is 3 years old. Gwen and Wyatt's affair has been going on for years and I was too stupid to realize it. How pathetic am I? For heaven's sake, I babysat the boy when Gwen and Wyatt had pack meetings. I babysat my finance and his mistress child, and I did not know. Liana. Wyatt shouts from behind me and I increase my pace. Liana, wait, he shouts just as Nina unlocks the car and we load the groceries as fast as we can. Damn it, woman, Wyatt gets hold of my elbow and swings me around. I'm talking to you. Let go of me, I hiss at him. We have nothing to talk about. You owe me, he glares at me in anger. Because of you, I will never get promoted. I sneer, and my face jerks to the side when he slaps me across the face. Hey! Nina shouts and runs to my side. Get away from her, you jerk. You're next, Wyatt points a finger at her. You told me she left and all this time you're hiding her. I'm not hiding, I grunt as I pull my shoulders back and face him. I do not care how many times he slaps me. I will not submit. For 7 years I have been a fool. No, I was his fool, but no more. I only chose not to see your lying and cheating face again. You're no better than me, he growls as he clasps my chin between his fingers. I felt your betrayal when you FD another dude, remember? And now, you owe me for every cent I lost for the wedding you cancelled. And you owe me 7 years that I wasted on a loser like you, I say angrily. Not to mention all those nights I cared for your bastard son. Wyatt's face distorts into hatred before he plants his fist in my gut and I double over in pain. I bite back the scream as he grabs me by the hair and pulls me to my feet. Let her go. Nina shouts as she starts beating Wyatt with her handbag. He lets go of me long enough to grab her arm and punch her in the face. She yells out in pain as blood pours from her nose. What the hell is going on here? A voice demands, and Wyatt abruptly lets go of Nina. I rush to her side and embrace her before I look at the stranger who came to our rescue. My knees go weak when I look into the blazing green eyes and recognize Axel. Alpha, Wyatt clears his throat and looks at us before he turns to him. My apologies. I was having a conversation with my mate when her friend attacked me. I merely defended myself. Ex-mate, I grunt, and Wyatt gives me a deadly glare. And you were the one that threw the first punch. Enough. Axel bellows, and I jump a little by the power and authority in his voice. This is not the place or time to settle your domestic disputes. There are children around, get out of here, all of you. Wyatt looks at me and Nina one last time before he leaves with long strides. Thank you, I smile weakly at Axel before I help Nina to get into the passenger seat. Hold your head up, I instruct her as I pinch her nose bridge to stop the bleeding. Allow me, Axel says behind me, and flabbergasted I take a step back as he kneels next to Nina. It's broken, he says after he examined her face. I'll take you to the clinic. There's no need, I say quickly. I'll take her, thank you. Get in, Axel grunts as he ignores my protest and gets into the driver's seat. I groan inwardly as I get into the back seat. Nobody says a word as we drive to the clinic. I am sitting in the back and praying that he does not recognize me. Hopefully, he has so many one-night stands that he cannot remember them all. Axel parks right in front of the entrance and a security guard rushes towards us. You cannot park, oh, my apologies, Alpha, the guard lowers his gaze submissively. How can I assist? You can move the car once we're inside, Axel orders and the guard nods. We are immediately surrounded by helpful hands as we follow Axel inside the clinic. A nurse quickly leads a bleeding Nina to a room, and for a second I only stand there, unsure what to do. I turn to walk to the waiting room, but Axel takes my elbow and guides me into an empty exam room. I want to protest and tell him to leave me alone, but I know I will lose that argument. He is the future Alpha, and every single person in this building will follow his command. I sigh inwardly as he closes the door behind us. The sooner we get this over, the better. Chapter 7. Axel POV. It takes all my energy and strength to remain calm and indifferent towards the woman in front of me. Her blue eyes are cautious as she quickly glances at me before she takes a seat in the chair furthest from me. Do you have a twin? I ask, even though I know the answer. But I have to make sure because nothing makes sense right now. No, she stutters and avoids eye contact. The silence grows awkwardly between us as I stare at her while she keeps her gaze on the floor as I align my thoughts. Are you hurt? I ask brusquely and cross my arms in front of my chest to keep myself from wrapping her into my embrace. I recognized her the second I saw her, but I was not prepared for the punch in my gut when I realized who she was. She only shakes her head and averts her eyes. Then why's your face swollen? I demand. Wyatt will pay for this, I swear. It's nothing, she stutters. I'm not hurt. I grind my teeth as I look at her and try to figure out what is going on. Is she covering for Wyatt or is she telling the truth? I did not see him slap her, but I did see him punch her in the gut. This makes me believe that his hand is imprinted on her cheek. What's your connection with Wyatt? I ask, and she looks at me with those big, beautiful, innocent blue eyes. And don't you dare tell me nothing. I know Wyatt, he doesn't beat women up for fun. He was my mate, her words are so soft it is barely audible. But I rejected him a week ago. Were you his fiancé? I ask as the puzzle pieces start to fall into place. The one that got into an accident an hour before the wedding. She bites her bottom lip as she nods and looks down at her feet. Emotions bombard me from all sides, and I walk to the window. I turn my back on her as I stare at the garden in front of me. Where's your mark? I ask as I turn back to face her. My mark. She frowns and looks at me perplexed. I don't understand. You're telling me you were engaged but he didn't mark you? I ask in disbelief. She was engaged to her mate, but still, she did not sleep with him, nor did he mark her. And by her confusion, I know Wyatt never informed her about the marking ritual. Why? I really don't understand the question, she murmurs. What's your name? I ask after a moment of silence. Liana, her reply is soft and melodious, and I clear my mind to savor the sound for a moment. Tell me exactly what happened, I order. You saw what? No, I interrupt and turn to face her. Start by the night a week ago when I took you to the hotel room. Her face pales and I know I caught her by surprise. Either she did not recognize me, or she hoped I would not remember. I pray to the goddess it is the latter. It would break my heart if she did not remember our night together. I listen patiently as she tells me her story and I am impressed and surprised that she even confessed to the staged accident to get out of the marriage. That's all, she finishes her story. Did you know who I was in the bar? I smirk sarcastically as I go stand in front of her. Yeah, she shrugs. Does it matter? Rather coincidental, don't you think? I raise an eyebrow. Seducing the future alpha when you realize your mate doesn't love you. I didn't seek you out, her eyes blaze at me and I feel relieved that she is no longer so timid. So, what that I recognized you? You were the first man I bumped into. You were convenient, that's all. Convenient. I growl as her words stab my soul. No man wants to feel convenient. Do you take me for a fool? I know what's going on here. You realized your mate was going to kick you out, so you planned to seduce the future alpha and secure your place in this pack. Have you lost your mind? Liana looks at me in disgust. That's the most absurd theory I heard in my entire life. Is it? I raise my eyebrows at her. You were in a relationship for 7 years and never shared a bed with him. And now you expect me to believe that you are willing to give it up in a second to a stranger for no reason. Respectfully, Alpha, her voice is soft and steady as she stands up and comes to stand in front of me. I didn't want anything from you then and I don't want anything from you now. I will repeat what I said to you a week ago. Once this door closes behind me, you and I have never met. She does not wait for my reply as she pushes past me and walks out. I sigh heavily and take a seat in the nearest chair. I do not know what I should make of Liana's story. I believe her, but more than one woman has tried a similar stunt to become Luna. If she truly does not want anything from me, why is she still within our borders? Why has she not moved on with her life? No, I shake my head as I stand up. I must be careful. No one can be trusted. And until I am certain, I will not tell a soul that she is my mate. Liana POV. I am furious as I pace up and down in front of Nina's examination room. I am dying to get home and to never, ever see Axel again, or Wyatt for that matter. The audacity of that man suggested that I seek him out. It is preposterous. I am not sure if it is a wolf thing or if there is something in the water, but it seems to me everyone in this pack is batshit crazy. I need to get a job and get out of this pack before I catch this craziness. There you are, I sigh in relief when the door opens and Nina steps out. What did the doctor say? I'm going to be ugly for the next couple of weeks, and after that, I'll be fine. She rolls her eyes and I smile gently at her. You can never be ugly. I take her arm and lead her to the exit. Even with a broken nose. You're my best friend, she replies. You're obligated to say that. No, I'm not, I laugh heartedly. Excuse me, ladies, the security guard at the exit interrupts us. Alpha Axel instructed me to give you this. He holds out Nina's car keys and I take it from him. Thank you, I smile politely. Is he still around? No, he shakes his head. He has already left with Beta Nick. Have a nice day, I greet as we continue walking to the car. Nina, I turn to her. Thank you for helping me today. It's nothing, Nina waves it off. No, I shake my head adamantly. You got punched in the face for me. It's not nothing. I owe you everything. I don't even want to think what would have happened to me this past week if it weren't for you. Hey, Nina bumps her shoulder against mine. You would have done the same for me. Don't fuss over it. I won't, I smile as I unlock the car and open the passenger door for her. But I want you to know that I'm not taking you for granted. I know, she smiles as she gets in. I close the door behind her and walk around to get into the driver's seat. On the bright side, Nina smiles wickedly as she looks at me. We were in the presence of Axel. Damn, he's hot. Looking at him makes me hungry in places where I don't have taste buds. You're terrible, I laugh as I steer the car through traffic. But I guess he's okay. Okay. Nina shrieks in shock. He's so much more than okay. True, I pout. He's also arrogant and egotistical. Spill it, Nina demands. What happened between the two of you? Noth. Don't bullshit me, Liana, Nina cuts me off. I want to know. Fine, I sigh heavily as I consider my words. As much as I want to keep my night of shame a secret, it would also be great to get it off my chest. And the least I can do is tell Nina the truth after she sacrificed her nose for me. Axel is the one I spent the night with after I caught Wyatt cheating on me. You got to be shitting me, Nina gapes at me. That? No, are you serious? Yup, I admit as I park the car in front of Nina's house. And he was a complete jerk the next morning. Nina slurps up every word as I tell her everything that transpired between me and Axel as we get out of the car and walk into the house. Can you believe that he thought I was APE? I shriek as I throw my hands up in the air. Well, yeah, Nina replies as she sits down on the couch. He's the future alpha and in demand. That doesn't make sense, I frown as I sit next to her. Liana, this pack is very traditional, Nina explains patiently. They're anal about the old laws. A rank must be mated to his true mate. I know that, I roll my eyes. That's why Wyatt is so pissed off at me. But it's even worse for the alpha, Nina continues as if I have not said a word. Not only must he be mated to his true mate. If he doesn't find his mate by the age of 25, he's allowed to marry anybody of his choosing. Axel has not found his mate, and he'll be 30 next year. Which means he's allowed to marry any girl. Every eligible girl tries to bed him in the hope that he will pick her. Hell, sometimes even the parents get involved and help their daughters to catch the alpha's eye. Oh, I feel like a deflated balloon. As offended as I was that morning, I understand, and I cannot even fault him for that. If I were in his shoes, I would have reacted the same. I guess I should have paid more attention when Wyatt explained these things to me. That's if he even told you, Nina rolls her eyes. He most likely only told you the stuff that applies to you. Okay, that excuses Axel's reaction for that morning. I cross my arms stubbornly in front of my chest. But it's no excuse for his accusations this morning. I mean, I didn't even tell him my name or asked him for anything since then. There's no justification for being a jerk today. Wyatt really didn't tell you anything, Nina shakes her head melancholy. Liana, when you're living within these borders, you don't have the rights like you would have when you were home. The Alpha's word is the law. He doesn't know you as I do. All he has to go on are the cold, hard facts. And what he sees is a human desperate to become part of the pack. You should count your blessings that you're still alive or not thrown out of the pack after you told him off earlier. Disrespecting any members of the Alpha House is punishable by death. I want to burst out laughing, but my blood stills when I look at her and realize she is dead serious. That's murder, I protest weakly. Nope, she shakes her head. It's a death sentence. Enormous difference. But nothing, she cuts me off. That's their laws and you're in their territory. Either you obey or you leave. Then I shall leave, I say adamantly. As soon as I get a job, I'm out of here. Axel, I do not waste time as I march towards the training grounds. After my conversation yesterday with Liana, I must get to the truth, or I will go insane. Wyatt. I call out and he looks at me questioningly. A word. Now. Yes, Axel, he replies and jogs towards me. I wait until he is in front of me before I continue. What's your business with Liana? I ask brusquely, and Wyatt at least has the decency to look uncomfortable. Axel, I'm sorry about yesterday. I don't care about that, I cut him off. Answer my question. She was my mate, he grunts, and I know he is swallowing hard at the humiliation that she rejected him. So, it's true she rejected you because of Gwen? I raise my eyebrows. Yes, he admits reluctantly. Goddess, Wyatt, I shake my head in disbelief. You sacrificed your career for a quickie. What's wrong with you? It's not like that, Wyatt looks at me with blazing eyes. I love Gwen. I would have marked and married her the moment I saw her, but I didn't because I wanted to be Delta. There's a reason why I didn't mark Liana or sleep with her. She's only a means to an end. I don't know what I've done wrong to be punished with a mate like Liana. She has a terrible background and basic education. Even for a human, she's pathetic. So, you strung your clueless human mate along for the ride. I smirk. On the one hand, I am overjoyed that he has no interest in Liana, but on the other, I want to slap the snot out of him for bad-mouthing her like that. What choice did I have? Wyatt hisses at me. Unless our laws change, I can't be with the woman I love. Okay, I nod, and Wyatt relaxes a little. Just explain to me what Liana is still doing here. Why hasn't she left our borders? I swear I don't know, Wyatt shakes his head. I thought she left and was surprised to see her yesterday. I'll take care of her, just give me. No, I cut him off brusquely. I've seen how you take care of women. I'll get Nick to take care of it. I do not wait for his reply before I turn around and walk back to my office. I need time to think and get my head straight. The happiness that surged through me when I realized I have found my true mate was surreal, and I was ready to claim her there and then. But then I learned she is human, and on top of that, she was entangled in some messed up business with her former mate. And now Wyatt confirmed that I was right to be cautious. I have known Wyatt my entire life and I might not like him, but I know he is ambitious and takes his rank seriously. He would not have gambled on his career without reason. And as future Alpha, I have so much more to lose. No, before I claim Liana as my mate, I must know everything about her. She might be mated to me, but that does not mean she will be a good Luna. Fortunately for me, I have a way out of this. I can still hold my title and reject my mate. It is all a matter of timing. Axel, the beta, Nick, walks to me and holds out an envelope. I have bad news. Luna requested an investigation into Paula. Are you shitting me? I grunt as I take the envelope. Why, Nick? I moan as if I am in pain. I didn't even tell Mom I'm considering her as my possible bride. I open the envelope and cringe inside when I look at the photos of Paula in bed with another man. I already heard the rumors, and it is no surprise to me, but still, this is not something I wanted to see. I don't know, man, he chuckles. She's your mother. I'll go talk to her now. I pat Nick friendly on his shoulder as I pass him with long strides to find Mother in her beloved garden. I grind my teeth when I see her. I love my mother dearly, but damn, she is nosy like it is nobody's business. There is no way I am telling her about Liana. Mother, I call to her, and she looks up smiling. What's this? I hold up the envelope and raise my eyebrow at her. I don't know, she shrugs as she takes off her gloves and walks to the nearby table with fresh lemonade and glasses. Lemonade? No, thank you, I sigh as she pours herself a glass. The suspense is killing me, she smiles as she takes a seat. What's in the envelope? Your research on Paula. I place the envelope in front of her. Have you looked at it? She asks sweetly as she takes a sip. It's rather entertaining. Mother, I never had any intentions of marrying Paula, I explain as I take a seat across from her. She can sleep with whomever she wants. But the two of you have been dating for months, Mother exclaims. Why invest so much time into her when you're not serious? Because I was trying to get to know her, before I consider her as a bride. Tiredly I push my fingers through my hair. How many times are we going to have this conversation? I know about her and Hank. The only reason we haven't broken up is because she's out of town. Well, I was only looking out for you, she defends herself. I'm your mother, I care. I know, Mom, I lean forward and rest my hand on hers. But please, I beg you, stay out of my business. You'll be the first to know when I'm serious about someone and then you can investigate her at heart's content. Okay. Fine, she rolls her eyes at me. But don't take too long. You're scheduled to take over from your father in 6 months, and both of us would prefer that you do so with a significant other by your side. I know, I sigh as I stand up and place a kiss on her cheek before I walk to my office. Liana, I am in a miserable mood as I take the bus back to Nina's. It has been 2 days since the Wyatt incident, and I still have not found a job outside of the PAC's borders. I stare blindly out of the bus window at the passing scenery. I honestly thought that my previous employer would take me back, but they do not even have an opening for a dishwasher or waitress. In fact, I have handed in my CV to every single restaurant in the city, but no luck. I even tried the pubs and bars I came across. I will have to expand my search, I sigh inwardly. Hopefully, I can get something as a cleaning lady. I am not trained for anything else. I am so caught up in my thoughts, that I completely miss my stop. By the time I realize my error, the bus has reached the shopping center. Oh, well, I am not in the mood to go home now anyway, I think to myself as I get off. I need a moment to be alone and sulk. But if Nina sees me like this, she will make it her mission to cheer me up, and I do not want that. I want to feel sorry for myself. even if it is just for an evening. I push my hands into my jacket pockets and stroll past the shopping center towards the adjacent park with a waterfront. I walk past the couples that are holding hands or making out on the benches. I walk past the kids that are skipping rocks on the water until I find a secluded tree. I make myself comfortable against it as I look at the colors changing on the water as the sun sets. My phone starts ringing, but I do not answer it when I notice it is my mother calling. I cannot deal with her right now. She and my dad are furious at me for not going through with the wedding. I never thought of myself as a stupid girl, but lately, I am reconsidering. I was a damn fool for giving up my job for a man. It does not matter that I was in love and engaged. I should have kept on working. Dealing with this breakup would have been so much easier. Even with Nina's support, I feel totally alone. I cannot tell her how much I miss Wyatt. She will only try and comfort me that it is for the best that I learned the truth before the wedding. And yes, she would be right. But that does not smother my feelings for him. He was a part of my life for 7 years. I cannot erase it or turn my feelings off with a button. I feel like a failure on so many levels. Not only was I not good enough for my fiancé, but hearing that I lack the qualifications and experience the last 2 days to find a job, is not boosting my self-esteem either. By the time I am ready to go home, it is dark, and I am completely alone in the park. I stand up and stretch out my stiff limbs from sitting in the same position. I am just about to leave when I hear Axel's voice, and quickly, I hide behind the tree. I do not want him to see me. After Nina explained the laws to me, I am too afraid to face him. I peek around the tree and notice Axel and a stunning woman not too far from me. Fortunately, I am standing wind down and they will not pick up on my scent. But even with that luck, there is no way that I can sneak away without them noticing me. I groan and roll my eyes as I move back behind the tree. I have no choice but to wait until they leave. Axel, please, the woman pleads with him. We are good together. What happened in the past week that you changed your mind? You mean other than you are Hank? Axel asks sarcastically. It was only one time, and we were on a break, the woman argues. And you know very well I was a virgin when we slept together the first time. It's over, Paula, Axel's stern voice reaches my ears. If you wanted to be my Luna, you should have stayed away from Hank. The Luna of this pack will know only the touch of one man. Axel, please, the woman cries openly. Give me another chance. I'm walking away now, Axel replies coldly. And when I turn around, you better be out of sight or there will be consequences. I close my eyes and push myself closer to the tree when I hear him walking in my direction. Please don't see me, please don't see me, I pray silently. He walks past and comes to a standstill a few feet away from me. He has his back towards me, and I silently move around the tree so that he cannot see me. Paula is already out of sight, and I was just about to make my move when Axel talks. Did you enjoy the show? He asks and turns around. Liana POV. My heart plunges into my shoes when I realize that I was caught red-handed for eavesdropping. I wonder what the punishment is for that. Maybe cutting off my ears? After everything Nina told me, I would not put it past this pack. I was here first, I say with false bravado as I come out of my hiding place. The last thing I want is for him to know that he scares me. You invaded my privacy, not the other way around. You're rather cocky for a human, he smirks as he closes the distance between us, and my heart starts beating faster. Especially if you keep in mind that you're a guest in my territory. I was only stating the obvious, I shrug nonchalantly and force myself not to step backwards as he comes closer. And I won't be a guest much longer. As soon as my business is in order, I will be out of here. Axel walks towards me with a lustrous look in his eyes, and instinctively I step back. I'm going home, I turn away from him. Good night. Wait, he grabs my arm and holds me back. I'll take you back. There's no need, I smile stiffly. I can manage on my own. Liana, he whispers my name, and it mesmerizes me so that I cannot do anything but watch his face coming closer to mine. The moment our lips touch, electricity surges through my body. I jerk away in surprise and stare at him. This did not happen the first time we met. But then again, I was drunk. What was that? My voice is a mere whisper. What was what? The corners of his mouth tug into the slightest of smiles. He places his hands on my shoulders and slowly glides them down my arms until he intertwines our fingers. That feeling, I stammer as I fight to focus. You mean this? His voice is sultry as he moves in for another kiss, and I wait in anticipation. Common sense tells me to run away as fast as I can, but I am too curious to know if I will experience the same sensation when he kisses me again. Fire ignites within me when he finally kisses me, and I sigh contently. I have never felt such an overwhelming sensation in my entire life. Bolts of energy rushes through me when he intensifies the kiss and I move closer to him. I had not even felt this alive when Wyatt kissed me, and he was my mate. Axel releases my hands and I throw my arms around his neck. I do not want this kiss to end. All my grief and sorrow have completely evaporated and are replaced with joy. I do not want to return to the darkness of my feelings, I want to rejoice in this happiness. So pure, he murmurs against my lips, but before I can question him what he means by it, he picks me up and starts carrying me. What are you doing? I ask as a slight panic takes control of my heart. Taking you to my car, he replies bluntly. But why? I protest. And I can walk, put me down. This is faster and I'm in a hurry, he explains as he puts me down and unlocks his black BMW X8 back door. In a hurry for what? I still try to make sense of what is happening when he picks me up and places me in the back seat. For this, he climbs in and closes the door behind him before he captures my lips once more. All my protests die as the electrifying sensations pulse through me. It is only a kiss, I justify as I snake my arms around his neck and straddle his lap. His arms go around my waist and he pulls me closer. His touch is so soothing that I do not protest as he removes my jacket and starts unbuttoning my blouse. I shudder in delight when his fingers touch my naked stomach. His hands sensually move upwards, over my breasts to my shoulders and glide my blouse off. I push closer to him as his hands roam my upper body. Everywhere he touches, sparks ignite. This is not fair, I decide and start tugging on his shirt. I also want to feel him. Axel quickly pulls his shirt over his head, and I feast my eyes on his naked torso. Without planning on it, I lick my lips as I glide my hands over his pecs and six-pack. His muscles spasm slightly when I graze my nails over him, and I look at him in surprise. Do I really have such an effect on him? Does he feel the way I feel when we touch? Without breaking eye contact, he unhooks my bra and tosses it aside. The warmth of his palms covering my breasts is so overwhelming that I gasp for air. I put my arms around his neck and press my breasts against his chest, and I moan in exhilaration from the skin-to-skin contact. He returns my kisses feverishly as his fingers dig into my hips and a hot flush jolts through me when he pulls me closer to his erection. All my coherent thoughts and reasoning evaporate. All I need at this very moment is this man. I do not protest as he slips his hands into my tights and gently starts stroking me. I am not ashamed that he can feel how moist and ready I am for him. The longer his fingers caress me, the more the urgency builds up in me to have more of him. Eagerly I undo his pants with trembling fingers. I groan in protest when he removes his hand to lift my hips. Without waiting for instructions, I remove my tights and underwear while he removes his pants. His eyes keep mine captivated as I reposition myself and lower myself onto him. Oh, dear heavens, yes, I moan as he fills me and my eyes close by themselves. Axel places an arm around my lower back and another around my neck as he pulls my mouth to his. I kiss him deeply as he slowly starts moving in and out of me. The world ceases to exist. All that I am aware of is Axel and what he is doing to my body. His hand moves in between us, and he starts pleasuring my clitoris as he thrusts harder and deeper into me. A thin silver line of ecstasy pulls tighter and tighter inside of me until I cry out my OM. He keeps on thrusting until a deep growl escapes from his chest and he spams against me. Breathlessly and satisfied I rest my head on his neck as our bodies return to normality. Axel lifts my head and kisses me tenderly before I get off his lap and start getting dressed. I avoid eye contact with him at all costs. He must think I am a shameful woman, and I cannot even blame him. What are you doing? He asks as I open the door. Going home, I reply softly. I'll take you, he grunts, and I suddenly have the feeling that he is mad, but I do not know why. No need, I say quickly. I must go the pharmacy first. What for? Are you sick? He asks brusquely. No, Axel, I need pills to counter our actions. I blush a little when I admit it. Getting pregnant is not on my to-do list. I'm taking you, he says with authority, and I do not dare argue with him. Silently I get into the passenger seat as he gets in behind the wheel. Neither of us says a word as he drives to the pharmacy and parks. Stay here, he orders. I'll get it. I keep my eyes on my hands in my lap as shame washes over me. What is wrong with me? I could have told him I needed soap or a toothbrush. Why did I confess my true needs? Now I am sitting in his car like a charlatan. I should be ashamed of myself and my actions, but truthfully, I am not. How can something that feels so good be bad? Not once in the 7 years I have shared with Wyatt, did I feel the need for a man. I have no idea what happened to my body tonight. I have never felt like this. Not even the first time I met Axel. Axel opens his door and hands me a bag before he gets in. What's all this? I frown as I take a peek. I didn't know what you use, so I bought one of each, he replies as he starts his car. Okay, I laugh softly as I search through the bag. But all of these are useless. They are for before the deed, not after. If you had befores, you wouldn't need the afters, he reasons. I know this is hard to believe, but I don't usually indulge in the pleasures of the flesh, I grunt indignantly as I finally get hold of a packet of morning after pills. Rest assured, this was the last time. Famous last words, he grins. This is the third time you're telling me we won't see each other again. You know what? I look at him angrily. You can just drop me off here, I'll be fine. No, stop immediately, I say and open the passenger door. Are you insane? He bellows as he comes to a screeching halt. Goodbye, Axel, I slam the door shut and walk away. Axel POV I curse under my breath as I park the car and quickly get out to follow Liana. I stay in the shadows as I follow her from a distance. I might not trust the female species, but I have no interest in explaining to the police why I was the last person to see her if she did not get home safely. I watch as she enters a house and closes the door behind her. Satisfied that she's home safely, I turn around and jog back to my car. Tonight's event was totally unexpected but also exhilarating. When I realized she witnessed my altercation with Paula, I was furious. She keeps on telling me that we will not see each other again, but she keeps on popping up. Even more reason I do not trust her. But I could not ignore the pull of the mate bond when I confronted her. Rejecting her would be easy except for the part where I will have to endure the pain while she walks away scot-free. Not to mention the sex. The first time with her was the same as every other girl, but tonight the mate bond was involved. It will be hard to return to mediocre sex with other women now that I know how it could feel. After tonight, I am more certain than ever that Wyatt did not educate Liana on the mate bond. From her reaction, I could tell it was new to her. Which I find interesting because she should have felt the same when she was with Wyatt. From what I know about the mate bond, there are two possible explanations. 1. She was never Wyatt's mate. But I doubt it. He would not have invested so much time with her when he could be with Gwen. Secondly, Wyatt watered down the mate bond by using a mind link. Whenever he got physical with Liana, he would mind link Gwen. Judging from what Wyatt told me, he would rather kiss Gwen than Liana. By mind linking Gwen while kissing Liana, the mate bond loses its intensity. I have never heard of anybody actually doing it, but I know it can be done. I know I am being a jerk. I do not want her, but I do not reject her either. But after Mia's stunt and Greta's death, I decided I did not want my mate or any bride. I kept on dating to keep my mother off my back, but I did not have any intentions of settling down. Women cannot be trusted, and they proved that to me on more than one occasion. And I might have had the best sex of my life, but Liana will turn out to be as useless as Wyatt claims she is, and she cannot be my Luna. Liana POV, where were you? Nina asks from the kitchen as I tiptoe to my room, and I groan inwardly. I so hoped that she would not hear me come in. The last thing I want to do is explain what happened. Lying is not even an option, Nina will call me out. At the waterfront, I shout as I enter my room. I'll join you in a second. I take a brisk shower and dress in sweatpants before I walk to the kitchen. Are you okay? Nina looks at me with eagle eyes as I turn on the kettle. No, I reply with my back towards her. I still can't find a job. So, I took a stroll and felt sorry for myself. I'm sorry, Nina says sympathetically as she takes out coffee mugs. Just hang in there, something will come along. And you can stay with me until you're on your feet. I can't believe what I sacrificed for him, I smile sourly as I pour the hot water into the mugs. I had a job, a decent apartment and favorable prospects. And I gave it all up for that cheating bastard. I was so stupid. No, you were not, Nina replies firmly. You committed to Wyatt. You trusted him and followed your heart to your happy future. It's not your fault Wyatt is a two-faced bastard. Not only did he cheat on you, but he also cheated you out of a future. You should sue him. Like that would help, I snort unladylike as I pick up my coffee and go sit at the kitchen counter. Seriously, you should do it, Nina continues as she joins me. At the very least he should reimburse you for loss of income since he's the one that told you to quit your job. I want nothing from him, I say adamantly. I'd rather die from hunger. Do you still love him? Nina asks softly after a moment of silence. How can I not? I clear my throat as I look down at the mug in my hands. He was my everything for 7 years. He never mistreated me, Nina. He was kind and funny. Granted, he was never romantic or affectionate, but a lot of people are like that. I just didn't know he actually was like that, but just not with me. I'm sorry, Nina says sympathetically. I miss him most at night, I continue with a hoarse whisper. Sleeping in his arms. I felt so safe, you know? Like I have somebody to come home to. I didn't care that he didn't like kissing me or holding my hand in public. Because every night he would turn around in his sleep and hold me. As if he was wired to be close to me. That was his wolf, Nina says, and I look at her in confusion. Wyatt, the man, might not have been interested in you, but his wolf wanted you more than anything. His wolf needed you. When Wyatt was sleeping, his wolf stepped up and turned to you. That's so. My cell phone starts ringing and interrupts me. It's my mother, I sigh as I look at the number. I've been avoiding her calls the entire day. I just can't deal with her right now. You should answer. Nina stands up and rinses out her mug. There might be something wrong if she's so persistent. I sigh as I slide the green button and put the phone to my ear. Hi, Mom, I keep my voice neutral. Liana, Mom starts crying and I see tendrils curl around my heart. Mom, what's wrong? I ask urgently. Your father, heart attack, hospital, operation, Mom, please stop crying, I almost yell into the phone as panic takes over. I cannot hear you. Co, come home, she sobs. Mother, what's going on? I ask urgently and wish I could teleport to her. Mother. There is a rustling on the other side of the line followed by muffled voices. Liana, my brother, Leon, speaks. Dad had a heart attack. He's in the hospital and it's not looking good. He needs surgery. Okay, I mumble as I start pacing up and down to align my thoughts. So, when is the surgery scheduled? In 6 months, he sighs. 6 months. I explode. Will Dad survive that long? Please don't turn hysterical like Mom, Leon pleads with me. We don't have healthcare and the hospital is understaffed and overcrowded. And they don't have a heart surgeon. We're trying to get Dad transferred to another hospital, but it could take up to 6 months because it's not that urgent. And there's no other alternative. I ask grimly. Unless we come up with $175,000 and take him to a private hospital, the answer is no, Leon explains patiently. Liana, Mom wants you to come home and see Dad. You know, to say goodbye just in case. Oh, okay, I whimper. I'll be there in a day or two. I must go now. I do not wait for his reply and end the call. The phone slips out of my hand to the floor and I stare blindly in front of me. Take this, Nina forces a glass in my hand, and I obey like a zombie. The amber liquid burns down my throat and I start coughing, but it has the desired effect as life slowly returns to my loins. Tell me everything, Nina demands, and I close my eyes before I repeat the conversation. I'm buying you a bus ticket right now, Nina says as she takes out her phone. And I'll give you $1,000. You never know what you might need. Nina, no, I shake my head. This is not your problem. Don't be a fool, Liana, she snorts. This might be the last time you see your father. I can always make more money, but I can't buy your father time. But it's not the solution, I break down crying. I appreciate your offer, and thank you, I'm accepting it. On condition that I repay it double. But what about the hospital bills? I need a job, Nina. I must find a way to help them financially. Leon is a leech and of no help. I can't allow my parents to suffer like that. First things first, Liana, she looks at me sternly. Go and see your father. Get some peace of mind. Your mind is too clouded now to make life-altering decisions. You're right, I agree, just not to talk about it any further. But don't buy the bus ticket just yet. Just give me the night to think things over. Are you sure? She frowns. Yes, I nod and try to smile, but I fail miserably. I'm emotional right now. I'll phone the hospital tomorrow for more information and then I'll know better. Just remember I'm here for you, okay? Nina hugs me tightly and I close my eyes briefly. Thank you, my voice is hoarse as I pull away and walk to my room. The rest of the audiobook will be continued in the next episode. Join us on Patreon for early access or more great audiobooks, a link is provided in the video description.